Hello and welcome to a new reading vlog. Last time I left off, I still hadn't finished The Poppy War, which I had pulled in week 1, and I had not finished Icebreaker. And I still haven't finished either of those. I'm literally filming this right after filming my last one. But I wanted to open this vlog by picking another book. Like I said, will be continuing to listen to Poppy War on audio when I can, and we'll definitely be finishing it throughout, like, before the end of the month, because I have officially reached the 50% mark. But I'm going to hang out with my sister in a little bit, and it's supposed to be like a little reading day, but my sister just told me that she's not really in the mood to read. She really wants to do a puzzle. So, like, I don't think that's like it's gonna be a reading day as planned. I'm still gonna bring a book because while she's doing her puzzle, I'm sure she'll put something on the TV and I will just have my nose stuck in a book as usual. But I wanted to pick one of my prompts because obviously my tarot deck is still how we are picking books this month. And I'm really hoping to get something that's already on my TBR because I do need to finish 6 books before the end of the month, and I really would like to do that because I would like to get off this book buying ban, and I need to do that by, like, the only way I can do that is by blacking out my bingo board. So let's see what we get here and hope that it is one of the books that I need to read, or the prompt will fit one of the books that I need to read. Ace of Wands. Perfect. Actually, it is perfect. So the prompt is to read a book by a new to you author or in a genre you haven't explored before. So this is perfect because literally 2 of the books are by an author that I have not read before. I think at least 2. So I can literally either choose between The Shadow Glass or Lost Boy. I'm probably going more towards Lost Boy because this is on my self-destruct, I think. Well, it was wrapped up, so technically, like, it should be part of the self-destruct. I don't know if I ever mentioned it in the video, in my self-destruct video, but probably going towards this one a little more, mainly because it's shorter, but I do think I can get through this one pretty quickly. And I know if I ask Benson, like, they're just gonna pick The Shadow Glass. So now you know how we're gonna do this? We are gonna do this the same way that I make all my adult decisions. Alright, so heads will be Shadow Glass, tails will be Lost Boy. Let's see what we got here. Of course, had to go with the bigger one. Alright, so we'll be reading Shadow Glass. I have to go get dressed. My sister will be here in, like, probably about, like, 10 minutes. But this will be what I am delving into next. And I really do think I'll probably get through this pretty quickly. Like, it's not exactly short, but yeah, not really. It's almost 400 pages. Okay, I'm gonna go get dressed. I will let you know a little bit more about what this is about when I start reading it and have a little bit more of a reading update for you. I'll see you later. It's been 2 days. Not much reading has been done, as to be expected. I started editing a video yesterday, didn't end up finishing it. I did film a ton though, including my August TBR, so that hopefully should be coming out in the next 2-ish weeks. It's only the 16th. We just filmed it a little early because why not? But I have made some progress in the Shadow Glass. I am exactly 25% of the way through. And I'm hoping to get I'm hoping to finish this within the next, and definitely not today because I have to go get ready for work in a second. But in the next 2 days, so I'm hoping to finish it by Thursday. If I can. I do have a couple of hours between jobs, so I should be able to get some reading done unless I take really long naps like I did today. Now, I don't think I fully explained what the Shadow Glass is about, but it's very reminiscent of Labyrinth, The Neverending Story, The Dark Crystal, movies like that where they use puppets. So we follow Jack, whose father created this well-known movie called The Shadow Glass. It wasn't very popular in its time, but it's quickly, over time has become a bit of a classic. This movie kind of did something to his father. He became a drunk and very unreliable, and everyone, he's pretty much known for being the crazy drunk creator. So much so that Jack stopped talking to him later in life. And then Jack's dad dies. And he is going to this house a couple weeks after his death to actually start selling off the products from the movie. But things happen that end up making him question whether or not the stories and the crazy fits that Bob was having were actually for a reason. If the land that he created was actually real. Again, so reminiscent of those movies. It is making me want to go back and watch every single one of them. And I am very much enjoying it. I don't think I am far enough into it to actually garner a ratings prediction, but I am really having fun with it. And like I said in I think one of my other vlogs, in between it there are some mixed media, some articles, interviews that are written in between each chapter, so it's really fun to have the inside on that. So again, having a lot of fun with that, and I have made more progress in the Poppy War. It has come such a long way from the beginning synopsis. I feel like it's a very complex and interesting story. Very dark. And I am hoping to finish that also within the next day or two. Hopefully within the week. Yeah. Hopefully within the week. I would like to have all of the books that I plan on finishing this month done before this vlog ends on Sunday, because I have plans for next week and I would like to see them through, but who knows if that's going to happen. But I have to go get ready for work, and I will hopefully be listening to and maybe finishing the Poppy War tonight while I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Okay, that update was very short and sweet, but I gotta go. Okay, love you. See you later. Good boy. It's Friday. This vlog has not been very interactive. I feel like I'm saying that so much, and I need to stop because I warned y'all in the first vlog. But I wanted to check in because I've made a significant progress, a significant dent in the Poppy War. I am literally 15 minutes away from finishing the audiobook, and I can happily say, unless something drastic happens in the next 15 minutes that makes me completely change my mind, which I doubt, This book is looking like a 5-star. And honestly, I'm so happy with my reads this month. Even if I don't manage to finish my entire TBR, I am so happy because I have already read more 5 stars in this month than I have in the entire year, and I really needed those. So what this is telling me is I really need to prioritize the books that I have been scared to prioritize and like putting off for literally no reason because I know I'm gonna love them anyway. I think this book has come a long way since I originally started it. It's no longer just about Rin at the academy. It is literally every step of her journey and like discovering who she is and the kind of person that she wants to be in a very hard world. And you know, she's got some conflicting feelings on everything that she's hearing and seeing, and she doesn't always make the best decisions. And that's what one of the things that I think I really enjoy about this is she feels real. Now, that's not saying she is a likable character at all. She's not. She's gravitating, or she's making some really bad decisions that you as a reader know are awful, but you know, she's making these decisions because she thinks it'll gain her power that she hasn't had, you know, being a war orphan and like being someone that started this book like having literally nothing, where literally no one loved her or appreciated her. So she's trying to gain that. And like you can see it in that way, but it's hard to have a soft spot for her, but you kind of do at the same time, if that makes sense. Also still making a dent in the Shadow Glass, and I'm really loving this one as well. I don't know if it's going to be a full 5-star, or even if it's like the book itself that's making me love this so much, or if it's the nostalgia for all of the classic movies, like 80s movies involving you know, this kind of shtick. But like I can't read this and not think of, you know, Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal and movies that have grown so near and dear to my heart. But it's very fun, and I'm loving, like, it's very predictable. Like, obviously there are classic tropes in there, but it's fun. I'm having a great time. Don't know how much reading I'm going to get done today. I'm going to try to finish those last 15 minutes of the Poppy War before I go anywhere or do anything else, but I don't know how possible that's going to be. A, I have to go shower. B, Benson and I are going out on a little adventure today. In Boston, there is, at our Museum of Science, there's a little like David Bowie tribute. So we're gonna go see that, and it's like in the planetarium. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then I think we're going out to dinner at a local place. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm really, really excited. I'm gonna take my book on the train with us just to see if I can get a little bit of reading done. But that depends. All right, I will check in with you hopefully very soon. Actually, no, I'm not going to check in with you. I'm pretty sure those are my final thoughts on the Poppy War. I don't think I'm going to have anything that I need to add other than what I've already told you. And then, of course, I'll check in with you if anything changes with the Shadow Glass. Oh, and I probably should mention, I did manage to find the audiobook for Icebreaker on my Libby app. Like, at first it said that, like, it wasn't available for 12 weeks. And then when I checked again, it said it was available to borrow. So that's, I don't know, that's one thing that's weird about Libby, is it's not always accurate. Yeah. So I did manage to find that, so that will be my continuation after the Poppy War. So I'll be finishing those 2 books before the end of the month, most definitely. I do need to pick a new card, but I'm trying to decide if I should just wait until I read. I should probably wait until I finish one of those 3, huh? but I do still have quite a few books that I need to read before the end of the month. Okay, love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye. So I'm finally updating this vlog because I finally finished a book. This vlog is probably gonna be like more like a week and a half, possibly 2 weeks at this point because there's almost no footage in it. But I finally finished The Shadow Glass and I am so excited. I really do think this is a 5-star. I was debating between giving it like maybe a 4, a 4.5, mainly because I really wasn't sure if my enjoyment from it was stemming from it actually being a good book, or if it was actually or if it was just like nostalgia that is making me enjoy it so much. And I usually just rate books purely based on like how I'm feeling and my love for the books anyway. So me being like conflicted about that really should not affect the fact that I do think this is a 5-star book. Again, I have seen a lot of reviews saying that it's pretty like middle of the road, and most of the reviewers that I've heard that have read this book really just think it's a 3-star. So I think that was what was kind of throwing me off a little bit and making me rethink my rating for it. But I do think it is a 5-star, and I'm really excited because now I have a lot more than one 5-star book that I've read this year, and I am so excited. July has been such a great reading month, not only quantity-wise, but quality-wise, and that's insanely awesome. I do need to pick another prompt. I have Icebreaker, which I think I mentioned I did end up finding an audiobook version for, which is phenomenal. So I am going to pick another prompt, and actually, because the love of my life is sitting in the room with me.
What?
And because we are about to sit down and have a little date night because Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest has come out. The anime has finally come out, and we have discovered that there is an English dubbed version that is coming out. I think it's every 2 weeks at this point.
Every week now, I guess. It's going to be 2 episodes behind the subbed.
Okay.
So episode 2 should be Sunday, I guess, if we're following that. Because episode 3 just released, and I just noticed today on a whim, episode 1 released, so it's going to be 2 episodes behind the subbed if that's the case. So we won't be far behind. Also, shout out to Miggy, who's in the background. Love that bestie.
Where is...
He's on the stream if you can't hear him. What are you looking
there
for?
it is. Would you like to do me the honors of picking a prompt card for me, since you're here with me?
Sure. I just pick one card?
Just pick whatever card.
Okay. Oh, that scared the shit out of me.
What is this? The 9 of Swords. I don't think we've picked this one yet, but I could be wrong. So the 9 of Swords is to read a book with mental health representation.
Oh. Depression.
I don't know if I have any books on my July TBR. Okay, I do have one. So at this point in the month, I was very much considering just reading the Grimm's manga tales for my ABCs of Manga challenge. But with this prompt, I think I'm going to go with...
These nuts. Sorry, please continue.
That's staying in.
Oh, is it?
That's
Oh,
staying
I
in.
fucked up big time.
That's staying in.
Oh,
I'm
pumpernickel
keeping
fuck.
it in.
Oh, man. Okay, please continue.
I'm going to go with The Golden Sheep, which I don't know a lot about. I only picked it up because it started with the G. I have heard that it's not as light and fluffy as the cover looks. And I just did a tiny, tiny bit of research. And it does say that there are portrayals of bullying. So I am assuming it has some mentions of mental health. This is just a 3-book series. So hopefully I'll be able to read these very quickly, and I am going to read all 3 of these for this vlog so that I actually can get that square checked off on my bingo board. Now, I don't think any more reading tonight because Benson and I do have a date.
Yeah.
And I will hopefully check in with you tomorrow if I don't take another 3-hour nap.
Do it.
Alright, I have just spent the last couple of hours reading the first 2 volumes of The Golden Sheep, which, like, the second volume is way shorter than the first one and the third one. And I am liking them. Liking them. It is very mental health heavy. The first one literally starts out with an attempt. So it's a very tough read. It's very hard to swallow. It is very much about bullying. Like, bullying is the front, like, and center of it, and about, like, friends who grew apart. So we follow our main character who moved away long ago, and like, she always, like, her and all of her friends have always said, like, they would keep in touch, and, you know, that it just didn't end up happening. She ends up coming back, and she kind of thinks that everything is going to be exactly the way it was when she left, and, she doesn't really realize that all of her friends have kind of grown apart, and one of them, especially, instead of being the charming and protective one that he was, ends up being a bully, and one of her other best friends is actually the target of said bully. So a lot has changed, and, she's kind of realizing that, things aren't the same as when they were, when I was little. So it has kind of evolved from there since the second volume. Like, it's very much a little bit of a different story. Again, I think these are really, like, they're good, but I don't think it's anything overly, but I also don't think there's anything, like, wrong with them that deserves under a 3 star. So right now it's just sitting at a solid 3. I do still have to read the third volume, which is significantly bigger than the second. I don't know, it's like a little different of a situation. There are only 3 volumes in this series, so this is the end of it, and I'm wondering how I wonder what the conclusion is gonna be here. If it's gonna be like it's probably gonna be like an open-ended conclusion, but I'm wondering how we're gonna finish off this little trilogy. I'm gonna bring this with me to work. which I actually have to go to now. I'm going to bring this and try to read it on my breaks. And yeah, I'm also going to bring my headphones so that I can try to finish Icebreaker and get that off of my currently reading where it's been for quite some time. All right, it is much, much later. And while I was on break, I did finish The Golden Sheep Volume 3. So I've officially finished the whole series in just about 24 hours, which is amazing. I am very excited that I got to read it and I got to check it off my bingo board. My feelings on this have not changed at all. I still think it was a decent series. I don't think it was the most amazing thing I've ever read. I think it is very hard hitting. There are some very dark topics in here and it looks very cute and cozy. So very much be on the lookout for those trigger warnings. So now, hold on. In total, I have to read 4 books. Technically 3, because I really just need to read The Cage Queen in order to finish my series prompt of the month. But I really need 3 or 4 books to continue, or to finish my TBR. One of those, of course, being Heartbreaker, which I made a little bit of progress in today. Work has just been too busy to really focus on an audiobook. But this means I need to pick another card. The 10 of Cups. To read a book in your favorite genre. My favorite genre is fantasy. So this fits perfectly because 2 of the books that I need to read for the month are fantasy. Lost Boy is more of like a horror fantastical book because it is set in Neverland. So that's an option. And then the more classic fantasy is The Caged Queen. And this is what I need to finish to complete my series for the month. And then move on to Skyweaver, which I may or may not finish before the month is over. I would prefer to go with Lost Boy because it is shorter, but I don't know if it really sticks to the prompt. I'm going to take you with me and we're going to go get a second opinion and see what Benson thinks I should do. So I have a question.
What?
So I just picked a prompt.
Oh no. I should have known something was up when I was trying to watch Miss Mogo on twitch.tv. Totally not at all advertised. Link in the description. Beep. I wait for my pizza to cook. I should have known something was up as soon as you walked in with what looked like a handful of books.
Only 2.
Only 2? Okay, carry on.
So I picked the prompt, and
I
it was
look like
to
I have
read.
10 chins. Sorry, please
It was
continue.
to read a book in my favorite genre.
Okay.
So I can go.
Oh, this is scary.
So obviously my favorite genre is fantasy.
Yes.
I can go with the obvious fantasy, The Caged Queen, which is my.
Oh, the sequel to Last Namsara.
Yes, it's the second book that I need for my series prompt. Or I can go with Lost Boy,
Peter Pansexual.
which is fantasy, but it's more like horror fantasy. Because it's set in Neverland, but it's got more of a horror twist.
I'm worried of you being disappointed with the horror one, so go with the sequel. At least you know that's probably going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have heard, either way, I think I'm going to be disappointed because I have heard that The Caged Queen is not nearly as good as Last Samsara.
Oh, okay.
Are you still going to go with The Caged Queen?
I might lose either way, so sure, Cage Queen.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Look at my ring. It's great.
What is that ring?
You got it. It's my engagement ring. Even though I proposed first. But this might just be my marriage ring, too. I love Kingdom Hearts and I love you, so this might just be my marriage ring as well. We don't need to spend money for another ring. I like this one. I'm gonna be honest with you. You could show this to me at the vows and we'd be good.
Okay, goodbye. I have quite a few updates actually. The first one being I actually did finish a book. I have finished Icebreaker that I have been working on through the majority of the month, meaning even though I technically have at least 2 books that I am supposed to read, technically I've finished the 5 main books that are on my TBR. Meaning I have finished my TBR for the first time in all year. For the first time all year. I really did enjoy this. I think the hype is well worth it. I personally can only give it a 4-star, not a full 5, even though I did think it was going to be a 5-star. I can only give this a 4 because, I don't know, I think the pacing was kind of off. It had a lot of time jumps, which to me, time jumps are a real hit or miss. If they're not done well, it can make the story feel like it's trying to rush. And this is a pretty big book. This is what, over 400 pages? This is 432 pages. And I don't know, I felt like it was like rushed in places and then it was overdone in others, and it made the pacing just feel very off. I have not finished The Caged Queen. I've gotten about 25% of the way through The Caged Queen, and unfortunately I do feel like the general consensus is correct and that it is not nearly as good as The Last Nimsara right now. It's probably sitting at about a 3-star. I just don't feel like I connect or really care about any of the characters the way that I did Asha and Torwin and, you know, the others. And I feel like some of the characters kind of did like a 180, like they don't feel as interesting, or like they're doing things that they wouldn't necessarily have done in the first book. And it's kind of disappointing. And there's a little bit of a love triangle going on in this, and I hate love triangles. Yeah, so it's a really big disappointment going from a 5-star book to a 3-star book. And I was genuinely considering DNFing it, but I do want to read The Skyweaver. And even though they're not necessarily connected and they can stand on their own, if you don't read the first book in the series, like, you miss some key information. So I'm thinking that might happen with the second book as well. So I do want to finish it at some point this month. I say at some point this month like I have all the time in the world, but I only have a few days left. Like, I want to finish it before the end of the month. So, while I have finished the 5 main books needed in order to actually complete my July TBR, I do still have 2 books that I would like to read. And that is obviously The Caged Queen and Lost Boy, which I did find the audiobook for through Spotify. So I do have time to listen to that. However, I am going to end this vlog here, and with that, this is going to be the last of my July weekly vlogs. I do have another vlog planned for the next couple of days that I would really like to read, or would really like to finish. So that means there are going to be a few books that I'm going to be reading that I will not talk about in any vlogs coming up. So if you want to know what else I have read this month, be sure to check out my wrap-up that should be coming very, very soon. I'm also really not sure how long this vlog is. I think it's going to be a little longer than my others have been, because technically this is like sitting at 2 weeks now. Alright, with that being said, I do have a little bit more time to sit down and read before I have to go to bed, so I am going to jump into the other reading plans that I said I had, and hopefully I will see you very soon in a new video.